They called him the Prince of Calcutta, the god of offsides. He took off his shirt and waved it high at Lord's. It was an exhibition of happiness. But with that one action, he lifted the team, and with that, the nation's faith. He was not just a cricketer, he was a cultural reset. He didn't just play, he provoked, he persisted, and above all, he led. Today, we go beyond the legend into the mind, the mischief, and the man, Sourav Ganguly. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you for inviting us to your lovely home. This visitor's room is like a virtual exhibition of your accomplishments, all those trophies behind you.
Yes, this is where I've been born and where I've lived all my life. Although we are shifting to a new home, but this home has been with us for 70 years.
Wow.
So born here, 50 years of my life has been spent here. So this is our home.
You live in a joint family, I think, right?
Yes. But as you know, with time, children go away for work, for professional thing. But my uncles live here.
Okay.
We live in this block, as you saw the block next before. One of my father's other brother lives. There's another one next block. So there's another of his brothers live. There were 5 brothers. At the moment, there are 3 now.
Okay.
So all of them live here. Their children. So it's a great atmosphere.
It is a great atmosphere.
My in-laws' house are next door.
Yes, I saw that as well.
So it's very close.
Yeah. So this building must have been built just around independence, or later after that. Yeah.
I think 1955.
55. Okay.
55, 56.
Right.
That's when my grandfather built this.
And he had a printing press business at the time.
We still have it.
You still have it?
Yeah,
wow.
We still have it. Obviously, the sons have made it bigger. The grandsons have made it bigger. So it's expanded. But my grandfather started all.
Nice. All right, let's talk about cricket.
Yes, absolutely.
So this podcast it celebrates 2 very important anniversaries, and we are bang in the middle of those 2 anniversaries. June 20th, 1996, Lords, you made your Test debut. 2 days later, you made a century. So it has been a magical journey. You started off with under 19 cricket. You also made a century under 15 cricket.
Yeah.
Under 19, you scored a century against Pakistan.
Yes. I first started in under 15, but that was an accident actually. Being born and brought up in Calcutta, I used to play football like everybody else, and I was very good at it. So in those days, I'm talking about 1980s, 84, 85, 86. Every kid in the city would play football because of Mohun Bagan, East Bengal, Mohun Sporting, and the standard of football was very good. So that's what it started. Then my dad pushed me to cricket because he was involved in the association. He pushed me to cricket and
pushed you and your brother as well.
Brother
right?
had already started playing.
Okay.
And I just finished my school class 8 exams, I think. 8 final exams I finished, and we used to have a 3-month break. So my dad said, you go and play cricket because you can't be at home because, you're up for mischief all the time. So go and play cricket. So I went to academies, and those days academies were absolutely simple, plain simple, bare minimum infrastructure. And that's where all of us started, matting wickets, cement pitches, and played cricket on that. So that's how it started. Then Bengal was playing an under 15 game against Orissa at Eden Gardens, and I was not in the team. And they had picked a team, but 6 of them fell sick.
Okay.
So they were scratching for players in the various academies around Eden Gardens. And fortunately, our academy was just next to Eden Gardens. And they said we need 4 or 5 players because at the morning of the game, we only have 6. So then my coach said that, they need players. We want you to go and play. I said, yeah, fantastic. I'll go and play. We played Orissa in a practice game at Eden Gardens for the first time.
Wow.
Before that, I used to go and watch cricket at Eden Gardens. I watched the West Indies. I watched Pakistan because of my dad. And then I got 100 that game.
Oh, you did? Yeah. Again, the debut 100.
Yes, I got 100 that game against Orissa and then kept playing after.
It's a different feeling to play in a stadium, right? I mean, when you play normal cricket, the grounds are not so big and you don't have the green around you. So was it like an overwhelming experience?
Those days stadiums were different. I'm talking about 1984. No, 1985, 86. Cricket was different in India. What you see now and what was then is not even like chalk and cheese. So, stadiums were different, Eden Gardens were different, concrete seats. But still a very pretty ground.
Yeah.
And played, the Delhi Ferozshah Kotla, the Mumbai Wankhede Stadium, but different stadiums than what they are now. So, and to me, it didn't matter. Young 13, 14-year-old boy knows nothing about stadiums.
Yeah.
Born and brought up on the Maidans, rough grounds.
Yeah.
We used to have a club next to my home, Bodisha Sporting. I used to go and play for them. It was inside a mission. The ground was inside a mission for boys and girls. And that's when we played, and that's how it started. Never thought about a good stadium because you hadn't seen it, and just played whatever you got.
Right. So from under 19 onwards, 20 years of competitive cricket. Great journey. Along the way, you won lots of accolades, accomplishments. You won many friends. You made many friends. Probably some enemies also. We'll talk about them later.
Yeah, but more friends.
More friends, of course.
Friends,
Yeah. So at what point did cricket stop being a hobby and became a calling? When did you realize that?
When you're young, you look at things differently. And when I was a young boy, 17, 18, I never thought where cricket would take you. You just played because you wanted to play. I played for the under-17s, Bengal, and then they selected me for the national camp. I remember going to Patiala and meeting Sachin for the first time. He came in for Bombay, for West Zone. I went for East Zone, he went for the West Zone, and he was 16-year-old. He was 16 and I was 16 as well, a few months this way, elder to him. And that's when I met him first. Saw the magic and talent in him. Never knew that he would become so big, but saw the talent in him. I kept playing, then went into the under-19s, never thought where career would go. Then got picked for Bengal when I was 18-year-old. Was so happy to play for Bengal. Never thought about India, only used to watch India play on TV. 1983 actually turned things around for all of us. Young boy, I was 10-year-old. And to watch Kapil Dev take the cup at Lords with Gavaskar, Mohinder, Sandeep Patil, Kirti Azad, Sandhu, Madan Lal, Bini, to see them play so well at Lords, and I think it turned the entire country around.
It did.
Yeah, saying that we are world champions and we can also play.
Yeah.
So that's how things turned around, and just kept playing after that, and one step after the other. Never thought where cricket would take you. There's no money then in cricket.
Yeah, of course. It was just passion.
Yeah, there's no money. My first Ranji Trophy game, I got 400 rupees. And that was 1989. So never thought about money, never needed money at that age.
So it was like organic. The passion just grew and it became a calling.
Just playing.
Just playing, yeah.
Just playing the game, just hitting that ball, going to Eden Gardens, going to practice, getting away from my mother's push of study. So that was also an exit to go and to get out of home and get out of home and play. So,
but you were good at studies as well.
Yeah. I had no choice.
Yeah.
But at that time, cricket, I never thought where India, if anybody would have said in 1989 that one day you will captain India, I would have laughed at him. But then, as with everything in life, you go one step after the other. With time, things get better.
Yeah.
Either they get better or they get worse. And for me, it got better.
You mentioned Sachin under 17. There's some story, I don't know if it's true or not, but apparently you were sleeping in your room in this camp.
He's under 15.
Under 15, and he threw just buckets and buckets of water into your room.
Yeah, it was in Indore. Vasu Paranjpe was alive then, and he was our coach. So we were in a camp in Indore, and it was a Sunday afternoon. We were there for about a month, actually, the national camp. They used to pick good performers from all over the country, East Zone, North Zone, West Zone, South Zone, Central Zone, and get them into a camp and train together for a month. Vinod Kambli was there, Ashish Winston Zaidi was there. There were a lot of players who went on to do well later.
Yeah.
And that's when I first met him. And on a Sunday afternoon, we were resting because it was a day off. And we were very tired, practicing every day of the week. And on that afternoon, we were sleeping. I was sleeping actually in my room. And we were twin sharing. I had one of my friends from Calcutta as well, who was a part of the camp. And I woke up in the afternoon and found everything floating in the room. My bags, my bats, my clothes, my shoes. First I thought that there must be a leakage in the washroom. But then I went to the washroom and found it bone dry. And then I opened the door and I saw Sachin. He didn't have anything to do on a Sunday afternoon. So he was busy doing all this.
Was he laughing or how did he?
Of course, he was laughing.
He had no explanation. He just said,
No, he said, you can't sleep on a Sunday afternoon, so I had to wake you up. I said, there were ways of waking you up, but not this way. But, then we kept on playing together, became very good friends. But you could see the talent at that age.
Yeah. All right, let's go on a little nostalgia trip back to Lords. There's a backstory that we have heard, the way you made your debut. You and Rahul, this was the second test when you made at Lords. The first test you had not played. And then suddenly, out of the blue, Navjot Singh Sidhu says he's going back to India. Sanjay Manjrekar is injured and 2 slots open up. Yeah. And you and Rahul are given those slots. When Azhar came and told you, were you expecting it at all, or did you know? And how long did it take you to process the thought that you are finally going to make your test debut?
I played a one-day game before. Me and Rahul
yeah.
both played a one-day game before that in Manchester.
Yeah.
And I did well. I batted well. Rahul batted well too. And then both of us didn't play the first test because Sanjay was there, and India went with an extra bowler. Sunil Joshi was the extra spinner on that surface. So India went with an extra bowler. So we didn't get a chance. Then Sanjay twisted his ankle while taking a second run in Birmingham. And then at the same time, both me and Rahul were scoring runs in the practice matches. Those days, tours were different. You played 3 tests and 3 one-days, but you played all the counties.
Correct.
So then we went to Derbyshire after the first test, and Devon Malcolm was having a fitness test because he wanted to play for England and he was bowling quick. I played well that game also. We were 170, 180 all out, and I got about 80 or 90 batting at number 3. That's when after that game, Sandeep Patil and Azhar said that I'll be playing the test. We had to come back to London from there and get ready for the second test at Lords. And that's when they said that you'll bat at number 3. I wasn't sure whether Rahul would have played at that time because he was still waiting for Sanjay to recover.
Okay.
Sanjay's ankle to recover. Sidhu had left. He went back to India. So there was automatically a place open for me to play. And then Sanjay did not recover in time before the Lord's test, and Rahul played. And that's when career started. So that's how 2 young boys on a first trip to England. I never thought I'll get to play a game, but then finished the series with 2 test matches and 200s.
Yeah.
So I'm a big believer in opportunities in life.
Yeah.
Like you see the modern day, in England. And as we do this interview, it's after the first day of the test match in
Shubman Gill.
Shubman Gill, Yashasvi, Rishabh, still some batting to go.
Yeah.
So I'm a big believer in opportunities.
Were there butterflies in your stomach as soon as Azhar told you that you know?
No.
There's just confidence.
Not confidence, happiness.
Happiness?
I did not know anything about test cricket.
Yeah.
I played the warm-up games, kept scoring runs. I actually did not think that I'll play a test match. Because 3 test matches are very short. And you have Navjot, you have Sanjay, who are established players then. And you expected that they would get a full series. So I don't know about Rahul, but I didn't expect that I'll get an opportunity. But then Navjot went back, Sanjay got injured, and we were both playing in the
Why did he go back?
He went back because I think he had some issues with the captain. Because he got dropped. He got dropped for the one-day game in Manchester where I played.
Yeah.
And I got 48 on an absolute seeming minefield, and it was raining. I remember walking out to bat at number 3, and it was seeming and raining. Sachin got out the first ball. He used to open for India then, and then I walked in at number 3, and I played well. And I don't know confidence. I don't know butterflies. I think happiness. Walking into Lords. Luckily, we fielded first, so it allowed me to settle down. My nerves settled down. Walking into Lords, packed house, full house, and I got 100 on a Saturday. So it was
big crowd there.
It was full on a Saturday at Lords, and to get 100. So it's been a bit of a fairy tale, but then God's been kind.
Yeah, but there was also this tension in the team at the time between Sidhu and Azhar. Was it very open, or was it for the youngsters? It was not so.
I wasn't even aware.
You're not aware.
I wasn't even aware about it.
Yeah.
I think Sidhu got a bit upset after being dropped, and he decided to pack his bags and go. And now when I sit and think what happened then, I think I became captain in 1999, 2000.
2000, yeah.
2000, I captained a bit in 99 and then 2000, and now it's 2025. It could not have happened anymore for anyone. Just to get upset on the captain and pack his bags and leave and then expect to play again would have never happened. But he did play again, He went with us to South Africa
Very briefly, yeah.
and the West Indies.
Yeah.
And it was not even 6 months after that. So I don't know what made him do that, but he did that. And then opportunities for us came.
Yeah. You mentioned that this Lord's Test, by then you were already in the team for 4 years and you had played only one ODI.
No, I wasn't in the team for 4 years. I played my ODI in 91.
Yeah.
91 in Australia and Brisbane, and never played after that.
Correct.
And then the next one was at Lord's. No, Manchester and then Lord's. Manchester, I played that game.
Correct.
Where I got 48 and then played it.
But you were in the reckoning. You were obviously part of the
domestic system, scoring runs. But there was a lot of talent in India at that time. Everybody was scoring runs, and some of these players in the national team were young.
Yeah.
Sachin, Sanjay, Jadeja, they were all young players. We were young then, so we were all fighting for places.
Yeah. So why was it so difficult to? I mean, your talent was unquestionable. Why was it so difficult to break into the Indian team?
It's always difficult to break into the national team because this country has enormous talent. I kept saying, and even now when Rohit and Kohli finished, don't worry about Indian cricket. There will be somebody taking it over. And look at what Shubman and Yashasvi did. I'm not surprised with Yashasvi because I rate him as a fantastic young batsman. And he's someone who should play all formats. I was happily surprised to see the improvement in Shubman Gill in batting away from home.
Yeah.
So India will always have talent. And I'm telling you, there are 4 or 5 waiting outside now who if and when given opportunity will always be turning up and scoring runs.
There were some concerns that Virat and Rohit are not in the team, so
I was not concerned at all.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, Virat is different. He's a world-class player. He's a world-class player. To get a replacement for Virat Kohli will take a bit of time. But the rest I wasn't. And I'm not surprised what I saw with Shubman.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to see his feet away from home. There's a massive improvement there.
Yeah.
So there's too much quality in Indian cricket because of the system, because of the domestic cricket, because of the standard of domestic cricket leagues, the way the associations put their time and money and preparations behind players is phenomenal.
What did you see about Shubman Gill that impressed you so much? His feet?
His feet, yeah.
Yeah.
His feet, he was fantastic. Didn't make a mistake. I thought England shouldn't have bowled on that wicket and didn't bowl well enough.
Like ballerina's feet. Moving.
He was brilliant.
Yeah.
I hope this is a permanent thing which I see.
Yeah.
Because if he keeps batting like this in away conditions, he'll score a lot of runs.
Yeah. I just want to go back for a little bit to your early struggles, and then we'll move on. Was there any point in time when you felt you're not getting into the team, you're just waiting, and say, just chuck it, let me go back to this printing press business?
Yeah, it happens. It happens as you keep getting older.
Yeah.
Breaking into the Indian team is not easy, especially as a batsman.
Is it more difficult in India than in other countries?
Yeah, I think so, because of the talent India has.
Talent, of course, obviously. That means.
Yeah. Those 4 years from 91 to 96, 92 to 96, I was in and out, played a lot of domestic cricket, never knew whether I would get an opportunity, whether I would play again. But then I was young. I was 21. At that age, you don't worry. What you think at 21 and what you think at 41 is too different.
True.
So I was happy playing for Bengal. We were a good team. Ranji Trophy, I played a couple of finals. And I was continuing to play the Indian A, scoring runs in Ranji Trophy, the Lip Trophy. But I had no idea when that other opportunity would come because you had Sachin, you had Sanjay, you had Azhar, you had Jadeja, young Vinod Kamli. So you never knew when that opportunity would come.
Yeah. Let's move on to 2000. You became captain. And you took over captaincy at a very turbulent time for Indian cricket. Match fixing scandal was going on. The public trust in Indian cricketers was at an all-time low. And you take over a team which had to be rebuilt, completely rebuilt from scratch. What was the first big decision that you took? And did you, after taking that decision, did you ever have second thoughts about it?
You know, with every captain and every team, there is a rebuilding stage. It comes every 10 years. Yeah, it comes every 10 years, sometimes earlier. With Indian cricket, maybe a little later because of so much talent, as it is happening now. As you said, no Rohit, no Kohli. Bumrah also doesn't play a complete series. So the young ones came in, and it was the same thing with me. When in 2000, Azhar went, Sanjay went, Jadeja went. So it was a completely young team.
Correct.
Young team, and we had to rebuild and regroup, and we did that. You know, there were some issues, but we were not aware of the issues. I keep asking people. I keep telling people that I don't, because a lot of people ask me whether it's actually happened. I said I don't know, because nobody had ever asked me, and I used to ask my colleagues like Rahul or Sachin that did these things happen, and they were also never asked or never spoken about. So it was a rebuilding phase, but the best part was I led some absolute champions. Number one, Sachin, Dravid, Kumble, Sehwag, Lakshman, Harbhajan, Zaheer, who all went on to play 100 test matches for India. So I was fortunate enough to lead a batch of players, a group of players who themselves could have been captain. So I always felt that I was a fortunate one to lead some of them, and the talent in that side was unbelievable.
True. But setting aside the senior players, the youngsters,
they were not seniors. Senior was only Sachin. I was starting. Rahul, I was not starting.
No, 2000 you were already.
Yeah, I was not starting. I was about 28, 30 test matches old. Rahul was
similar. Yeah.
Lakshman was about 20, 25 test matches old. And we talk about test matches those days because there's no T20 cricket.
Yeah.
Then Sehwag was making his debut. Zaheer was making his debut. Harbhajan was making his debut.
Right. So I'm asking about those guys. They were Dada's boys. You know, Zaheer, Harbhajan.
They were India's boys. India's boys picked by the selectors and the captain.
No. But you saw something in them that others did not see. What did you see in them?
It's the spark. It's the spark which I see. It's the match-winning ability which you see.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in winning matches. And I don't worry about losing, but I worry about winning. So in your journey to win, you lose a few, and I never bother about that. And these were players who won matches for you. I remember seeing Yuvraj for the first time in Nairobi, and you could see that he's special. And what he went on to do for India after that in one-day cricket is unreal. And 2007 World T20 Player of the Series, 2011 World Cup Player of the Series, runs, wickets, fielding. And he was special. Unfortunately, didn't get many opportunities in test matches, although I think he played about 30 odd test matches.
Was he cut out for test?
He was. He was, but he got stuck in between Dravid, Tendulkar, Ganguly and Lakshman.
Yeah.
So didn't get much of an opportunity. But a special player, Harbhajan Singh, unbelievable cricketer. Not just a great bowler, but terrific competitor on the field. Sehwag changed the way people batted at the top of the order.
Right.
In test matches. Dravid,
of course.
Terrific players. And Zaheer came in. One of the fantastic bowlers India has produced. So the talents just kept coming up. What I did as a captain was persisted with them.
Yeah.
I think that's also very important.
That is important.
Yeah, I didn't let them go away very quickly.
Correct.
I didn't let them drift. Kept the group together, kept the group closer, made them feel that, this is their team. As much as it is my team and India team, this is their team as well, and managed to get the best out of them.
Yeah, talent is one thing, but as a leader, as a captain, you have to sell them your vision, and they have to buy into what you believe in. And they have to be on the same page. You have to be aligned. Yeah. And that's what I think you did. You managed to do that.
And there
right?
was, the goal was one. India had to win. India had to become a better side. We were terrific at home because we had great spinners in Harbhajan and Anil. And they won you test matches like nobody's business in India.
Yeah, so goal is fine. Everyone, of course, wanted India to win. But the way you achieve that goal is there is a strategy, there is some, And that is where the captain comes in and says, this is what I want to do to achieve that goal.
Yeah.
And are you with me or not? And everyone said yes.
Yeah, it's the culture in the team.
Yeah.
It's the culture you bring in. And people realize what's going on. If there is honesty, there's transparency, there's fairness, things automatically fall in place.
Yeah.
And I think that was the case with all of us. With VVS, a special player. I remember speaking to him about opening in test matches, and he said, he wants to bat in the middle. So I understood where his mindset is, tried to accommodate him. So it was a team where captain was not the boss. He was a captain and he was a friend who wanted this team to get better.
Yeah. Let's go back to Lords 2002.
Yeah.
I know this has been asked many, many times, but I'm going to ask you again. The iconic shirt waving incident. Was it spontaneous or was it planned? Because I'll tell you why. Because I've heard that you wanted the entire team to take off their shirts. Rahul and BVS were not so willing. Harbhajan was about to take off his shirt and Lakshman pulled him down and said, "Nahi, mat karo, yaar." Is it true?
Little bit, I think, a little bit not planned because I never knew that we would win, and we were at halfway we were losing.
Yeah.
We were losing, and then Yuvraj and Kev recovered, and Yuvraj and Kev finished the game for us. And that's when it happened, because 6 months ago England were in India, and we were 3-1 up in a 6-match series. And then they leveled it to 3-all at the end in Bombay. And my friend Freddie was all around the Wankhede Stadium. So you're young. I was young then, young and fiery and whatever you call it. It just happened.
But no embarrassment, right?
No,
Yeah,
no
it's
embarrassment. It was in good humor.
Yeah.
It was with a proper mindset of happiness after winning a match from nowhere.
Yeah. So it was spontaneous in a way, or कि पहले सोच लिया था कि करेंगे, अगर जीतेंगे तो करेंगे इसको?
नहीं पहले नहीं सोचा था, क्योंकि पता नहीं था जीतेंगे कि नहीं जीतेंगे. जैसे मैंने कहा कि एक स्टेज पे था हार जाएंगे.
Yeah.
So we were almost done and dusted in that game.
Yeah.
And then we came back to win it. So it's out of happiness also.
I have a question about leadership. Leaders can't please everyone. You take some unpleasant decisions. You end up, displeasing somebody. I see that in my job as well. I can't please everyone. And you have had to take some unpleasant decisions. So one or two come to my mind. You had to tell VVS that he's not playing in the World Cup. And you had to bench Anil Kumble also. How do you manage to put yourself in their shoe, empathize with them, and at the same time convey a hard decision in a soft way?
I explained to them what the team required at that moment. VVS missed out on one-day cricket, and he wasn't too happy about it. But we are the best of friends, and you won't get a better human being than VVS Lakshman.
Yeah.
So we were the best of friends, but the hardest bit was to decide at times between Kumble and Harbhajan. It didn't happen in India. It didn't happen in the subcontinent. But as you went away on greener pitches where we needed an extra fast bowler, I had to decide between Anil Kumble and Harbhajan Singh. There are times when they both played together. But yes, that was the tough bit. Whoever you wanted to rest was not very happy about it.
Of course not.
And made it clear to you.
How did they make it clear? What would they say?
The first question was, why am I not playing? And to be honest, you need those sort of players who tell you, why am I not playing?
Yeah.
And not those players who you tell them you're not playing and they're happy and getting 5 days off.
Yeah.
And you wanted those sort of players in the team who would come and tell you and ask you, why am I not playing? These conditions suit me, whether it does or it doesn't. But that's what they believe, that they're going to win matches for India in those conditions. And both Anil and Harbhajan were.
Yeah.
So much ability, so much self-respect, so much pride in the performance. But I was happy because at the end of the day, I had two players who were absolute champions.
Yeah. At what point does a healthy debate with a teammate become insubordination? And how do you manage that? Did it ever become so?
Yeah, it has. Many a times when you rested players, they were unhappy. Lakshman being left out of the World Cup, he never spoke to me for 3 months.
For 3 months?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I made up with him. And
how did you make up with
anybody would get upset,
Yeah.
In a World Cup, especially of the caliber of VVS, not playing, it's quite natural that he'll get upset.
Hmm.
Then we finished the World Cup, we did well, so he was happy that we did well. And then we came back, he got back into the one-day system in Australia, Pakistan. We had outstanding series in both the countries.
Yeah.
We won in Pakistan for the first time ever. And VVS was very instrumental in it. And yeah, but it's you understand things and they knew at the back of their mind that there was nothing personal.
Sure.
It's just that you picked a team.
You know, people do hold grudges for a while, but time is a great healer. Then you meet them after many years, time has passed. Do you talk about those incidents?
No. It's gone past a long way now. We all finished 12, 13 years now.
12, 13 years?
Yeah, so it's done. I don't even think about it.
Same with Greg Chappell?
Yeah, done.
Yeah.
Done. It's all done. Long, long ago. What?
2003,
19 years ago.
19 years ago, yeah.
What do you remember of it? Nothing.
So this Greg Chappell incident, you were playing in Australia. I mean, this one of your best knocks, 2003-4 at Gabba, that series. Before that, you went to Greg Chappell and took some advice from him on how to manage the bounce, Australian bounce. And then it's no secret that you recommended his name to BCCI for the coach.
Yeah, I did.
But then within 3 months, everything soured. Did that leave a lot of hurt in you, or did that make you stronger, the whole incident?
A bit of both. Initially it was a bit of surprise that why did it go to that level, but then it made me stronger.
If you had to describe that in one word, the whole episode, what would that word be?
Unfortunate. So then I came back and played. I had scored 10,000 runs in one-day cricket by then, and I never played one-day cricket for 8 months. And then when I came back that year, scored the most runs in the world in one-day cricket.
Yeah.
The year I came back. So I didn't understand what was the reason to be left out. I kept playing Test cricket, but didn't play one-day cricket for almost 8-9 months. So I found it a bit unfortunate, and I found it a bit personal.
Was it personal?
Yeah, 100%. It cannot be on merit.
On merit base, yeah.
Because when somebody scores 10,000 runs in 9 years and not get a place in the team, I was not old. I was 31, 32 at the peak of my career. So I was a little surprised. But then things happen in life.
Yeah.
Things happen in life and you need to understand, you need to handle it. I came back stronger. I played 4 or 5 years after that and kept performing even better. So it was unfortunate, but it made me stronger.
It would have been a little humiliating to be dropped as captain from the team. And then would you just...
And we had won that series.
You had won the series. Would you go in front of the mirror and look at yourself and say, how dare they?
Not anymore.
At that time you did?
Yeah, at that time you were playing, you were sensitive.
Yeah.
You were captain of India. And then with time, things go away.
But look, you also made a fantastic comeback, a very dignified comeback. During that period, 1 year period, you were playing domestic cricket. You were playing tournaments which are not even first-class cricket. Buchi Babu and...
It was fun.
It was fun?
Yeah, I went around the country playing cricket.
So what was the motivation?
Scoring runs. Just to keep scoring runs.
Or was it to prove them wrong?
No, to keep scoring runs and show the selectors that, I'm still playing well, still scoring runs and performing. So, and I enjoyed playing cricket because, as you grow older, this game goes away. And you have a certain time to play, and I kept playing and kept scoring runs and kept reminding the selectors that I was still good enough.
So was there anyone who stood by you during that period that the world doesn't know about?
A lot of people, my teammates, friends, family. And I didn't mind going around playing domestic cricket. I played Ranji Trophy, I loved it. Got hundreds after hundreds, then went to Dilip Trophy in Guwahati, got 100 there, and just enjoyed playing because I knew I'll be back because of what I had achieved and I had so much cricket still left. I knew it was only a matter of time.
You still had a lot of cricket left in October 2008, Australia-India series. Pre-match day, you come for the press conference instead of MS Dhoni, and you give the match details and everything, the team details, and then you get up and then you deliver that iconic line, one last thing, lads, which every media person who covers cricket remembers. And then you say, this is going to be my last series. But why? You were playing the best cricket of your life. The last 18 months, probably you were playing better than Sachin. You made more runs than Sachin at the time.
Yeah, but I think everything has to come to an end. I was 37 then. I was 37 and just didn't want to play anymore. Played more than 100 test matches. Wouldn't get picked for the one-day team anymore, me and Rahul, because India were looking ahead for the 2011 World Cup, by which we would have been 40 years old, 41 years old. So we were looking ahead and it really didn't mean anything continuing playing. So, and I always believe that you need to go when you're still playing well, when you're on your high. And I played well that series. I had great 4-5 years before that. But as you know, everything has to come to an end. A lot of us got surprised with Virat Kohli retiring. He's just 36 years old, fit. Although he still plays IPL, still plays one-day cricket, but it's never the same. So, but as I said, you have to finish playing someday. And
Right.
I thought that was the best time to finish the game, and I did it.
Can it be construed to mean that the fire had died in you?
No, the fire didn't die. I don't think the fire of playing for the country and scoring runs year after year dies. It's just that you felt that that's the right time to finish, because everyone has to finish. I always believe that it should be why rather than why not. And I thought that was the right time.
So there was no push as such. It was more of a...
Yeah, there was a little bit of push indirectly. Not that anybody would come and say, you're done, you have to go. But you could feel that, young players were coming in, they needed a space. And as an athlete, you understand. As an athlete, and I'm sure that's the same thing with Rohit, same thing with Virat, same thing when Rahul finished or Lakshman finished. You can understand that the time is not far away. You played for so long. I think only 4 players in Indian cricket history has played 100 tests and 300 one days, and I was one of them. Me, Rahul, Sachin and Virat. These are the 4 players who probably have gone on to play 100 test matches and 300 one-day games. More than 300 one-day games. And I thought I was fortunate to complete all that. And that's what it was. I felt it was the right time to go.
You went out on your terms.
Yeah.
Basically, that was the reason, right?
Yeah. It's very, I would say, irrelevant. My terms or whose terms. As a player, you understand. As a player, everyone understands that where he stands at the moment.
Fair enough.
Just look at Virat. Everybody says why. But have still played. I know he didn't have the best of 5 years in Test cricket, but champions like him, rediscover. And I guarantee that if he was on this tour to England, he would have scored runs. So, but he felt it was time to go.
And progress is all about renewal. You have to get the new people in. Yeah. And then you transitioned from the cricket field to the boardroom, BCCI.
Yeah, that was a bit of a surprise. I was president of CAB for 4 years.
Yeah.
Before that, and I enjoyed it because it was my first foray into cricket administration. 4 circumstances, because Mr. Dalmia died. And then I became president. I hosted the 2016 World Cup in India. We played Pakistan at Eden Gardens. We had the World Cup final at Eden Gardens, and it was a great experience. Being on the administrative side. Yeah. All this while, it was being done for you. And I played 4 World Cups and Champions Trophy and many more. So, this time you're doing it for them. So it was on either side of the ground. Yeah. And I enjoyed it. And it was a different experience. I still remember the rain at Eden Gardens on the game against Pakistan, and the entire world was here. We had organized a spectacle. Imran Khan, Amitabh Bachchan, Wasim, Waqar, Sachin, you name Mr. Ambani,
Shah Rukh Khan, I think.
Mamta Didi. No, Shah Rukh wasn't here.
then.
Mamta Didi, Abhishek Bachchan. The entire country was at Eden Gardens and it was pouring at Calcutta. And what we did 6 months ago was we redid the ground. The coring, the sand base, getting covers from England. Obviously, my experience with cricket helped. And we could start the game in 30 minutes with 70,000 people watching and a few millions on TV.
Yeah.
And it was a great experience. And then, in 2019, I went back to Delhi Capitals. JSW Path was kind enough to ask me to help the team, and we did very well that year. I loved it. Before that, I didn't do any coaching. I loved it. Then I said, I'm done with administration and I want to go and focus on this and see where it goes. Because at the end of the day, I spent all my life on the field.
Yeah.
And I did one season and I loved it. So the elections were here and I told them that I'm done. I want to go and do this in life. And then from nowhere, I became board president.
Yeah.
Board president in September, and that DC went into the back burners. And I did that for 3 years, and it was a real challenge, those 3 years with COVID.
I was going to ask you, with the COVID, half of that period was COVID.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
COVID, me and Jay became president and secretary in October 2019, and COVID came in March.
Yeah.
2020 March. I remember we had to organize the IPL, cancel the IPL. It was a situation which nobody had experienced ever.
Anywhere in the world, yeah?
Anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And then all cricket stopped. I remember on March, 19th of March, South Africa were touring India. And there was a game at Eden Gardens and we had to cancel that.
24th was a lockdown.
Yeah. And the country would go into a lockdown after 5 days. The South Africans were in Calcutta, where they were supposed to dispatch from here to Johannesburg, and then it was unbelievable.
You must have taken some very tough calls during that time. What was the toughest you...
The hardest thing was to organize IPL in September that year in Dubai. And hats off to BCCI staff. We were all in different parts. Jay was in Ahmedabad, I was in Calcutta, Himang was working out of the office in Bombay. The venue had to be shifted to Dubai. We couldn't get together on one table to work. We were on computers trying to organize a tournament, Zoom calls, getting people together, getting people to work. And we managed to do it. I still remember when all of them landed in Dubai in September, Chennai Super Kings, 12 of the players got COVID. 12 of them on day one. Creating bio bubbles, we were on chartered flights all over going. I have flown on planes as just one person. And just the only person on a flight.
Yeah.
To go to Ahmedabad or Bombay or Dubai, nobody else.
And taking RT-PCR tests every...
I have done 7 RT-PCR tests in 4 days. And I can tell you it was so painful.
Yeah.
Coming out from India, landing in Dubai, going to the hotel, RT-PCR every 2 days, do RT-PCR before you board the flight, land in India, do RT-PCR. It was madness.
Yeah. We can laugh about it now, but it was just the most terrifying and difficult period of our lives.
Because it was scary.
Yeah.
You would actually meet a human being which you never thought of in your life, thinking how far do you need to speak to him, whether you at all need to speak to him. People would come to your doors, you would say from inside, just leave it outside.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
India were touring Australia and I was so keen to go because it was a great series. I just couldn't go because there were 14-day quarantine. So you had to be stuck in a room like this for 14 days. No way you could do it.
Yeah.
I remember going to London in 2020, India were touring, 21. I've never seen London like this.
Deserted.
Oxford Street was like a desert. Every shop closed. Not one soul on the street. We were there for 5 days watching India play at Lord's. There was no one on the streets. So what the world experienced was, I had COVID. My mother had COVID twice. My brother had COVID twice. My daughter had COVID. Only my wife did not have COVID. So everybody else had COVID. And it was a peculiar syndrome. We live in a big house with so many people, servants, drivers, uncle, aunts. If you would test someone and we would do it, say, once in 15 days, once in 20 days, if you're testing 18, 19, 20 people, one of them invariably would test positive. And you never understood, no symptoms, nothing. He's roaming around in the house. And then you realize that, okay, you cannot send groups in 15, 16, 17 for test. So you send 3 people for tests, 4 people for tests. The reports would come different. We didn't know whether the tests were correct, the reports were correct.
Yeah.
I didn't know whether in spite of trying genuinely, whether the test centers knew whether the reports were correct or not.
Yeah.
Because they had never faced such a situation like this. So it was an absolute mess for 6 months.
What was it like working with Jay? I mean, you're a celebrated cricket star while he's the son of the Home Minister of India. So power dynamics and relationship, how did that
The
work?
relationship was very good. It was still very good.
Yeah.
And when he came in, it's 5 years now,
Yeah.
6 years now in September, in 2019, he was a young boy, straight from Gujarat Cricket Association, and he was trying to learn the nuances of the game, and very cooperative, very approachable. Obviously, he had his opinion, and rightfully so. He wanted to do things, and he still does. Now he's the ICC chairman and a bigger post. He had his own way of doing things, but the best thing about him was that he wanted to do things properly for Indian cricket. See, he had the power, and he had the support. So you expected certain kind of toughness and stubbornness from him, but he would do things for Indian cricket. Very supportive of players. He got better as he learned.
Yeah.
As he learned when he started, then the next year he got better. Year after he got better. But the good thing about him was he wanted to do for the game. Very honest, and wanted to do for the game. He always had this thought of who he was at the back of his mind and what baggage he carried. So he wanted to do things rightfully and properly all the time. All of us make mistakes. I did, he did. But it was never intentional. But the game never stopped. And the game never stopped when we worked together. And obviously he's progressed. He's the ICC chairman now. I do see him at times because we live in different cities.
Yeah.
I'm not involved in administration anymore. So the game has progressed, and I wish him all the best. I saw him in England this time for a little bit. I meet him in ICC meetings because I'm the chair of that committee. But the best thing about him and that he wants the game to grow and go forward.
Indian cricket has undergone lots of changes, and many of them during your time as BCCI president. Which change are you most proud of? What's your
Women's
achievement?
cricket.
Women's cricket?
Yeah. We really did a lot for women's cricket.
Yeah.
And it still goes on. I remember when I first came in 2019, women's cricket wasn't important. And India were not good enough.
Right.
And by the time we left, the WPL, it got formulated when I was president and Jay was secretary, and then got implemented after I finished my term. The WPL, it has taken women cricket to new heights. I think the biggest and the most important thing was developing women's cricket. Equal pay, same match fees. Although the contracts are different, the match fees are same, and they rightfully deserve it. You saw England, you saw Australia, South Africa doing well. You wanted your girls to do well as well. And now you look where they are. Smriti, Harman, Shefali, Richa, Jemima. There's so much young talent coming through. The under-19 girls winning the world championship. Nobody could imagine in 2019 when we became president that India would go to England and beat England 3-0.
Yeah.
Getting into the Commonwealth final where they should have won against Australia. When Harman got run out, India were cruising. Beating England in England.
Yeah.
Women's cricket in India has improved quicker than the men's in the last 5 years. Men's were always strong.
Yeah.
Always strong and good and very powerful. But the women's cricket has jumped leaps and bounds.
The critics will say that there's a big difference between men's cricket and women's cricket. But that's the same for any sport, even in tennis.
That's bound to happen.
Yeah.
That's bound to happen. Strength,
Football, strength.
physical strength, power, speed. That's natural. That's God's creation. So that's always be there.
Yeah.
But I get as much interest in looking at women's cricket when India plays as much
Yeah.
as I do at the men's.
Could you have done more for Indian cricket by coaching the Indian team? Would you have wanted to?
I never thought about it because I just got into different roles. I finished in 2013, then became president, became board president. We'll see what the future holds.
Yeah.
I'm just
Okay.
50 and we'll see what happens.
So you're open to it?
Yeah, I'm
Absolutely.
open to it. We'll see where it goes.
Well, we certainly hope that you do
we'll see
become-
where it goes. I think Gautam's doing a good job.
Yeah.
He started off a little slow with Australia and losing against New Zealand, but he picked up with the Champions Trophy. This is going to be a big series. For
As a strategic coach, how do you rate him? Not as a motivational coach as much as the
I
strategic.
haven't seen him that close, but he's very passionate. I've not seen the strategy closely because I've never worked with him. I played with him, and he was a great guy when we played together. With a lot of respect for me and the seniors, and I see him now. He's very passionate about his job. He's very straightforward. He says things. He's very open about everything, what he feels about people, teams, players. How and from outside you feel that he's a very straightforward person. You get what you see.
Yeah.
And I wish him all the best. He's just started a year ago. This tour will be important for him. He struggled a bit in Australia.
Yeah.
This will be important. But just like everyone, he'll also learn. He'll also grow, and he'll also become better.
There are playing cricketers and there are thinking cricketers on the ground. Was Gautam one of them?
Yeah, you have to be a thinking cricketer.
Yeah.
To play cricket, you have to think.
It's not just about brute force or skill or
It's
strategy.
more in the mind than
It's more in
in the body.
Yeah. I have a question about Virat and Rohit. Apparently, Virat was told by BCCI that he has to captain both ODI and T20s. He can't choose between one. And then you had to tell him that. How difficult was it? Well, that conversation must have been really awkward. And then you also had to talk to Rohit to make him the captain, and he apparently was very reluctant. He's not a willing captain.
Obviously, it's quite natural that you have a captain for the white ball.
Yeah.
50 overs and 20 over cricket.
True.
We always wanted Virat to be captain, but he did not want to continue. And that's where it was. And then obviously Rohit came in. He was captaining Mumbai Indians. He was captaining 50 over T20. We needed a test captain because Virat was test captain by then. And he finished in South Africa. I always believed that Rohit was a very good captain. So obviously the request from the board went to him that saying that you should captain in test matches. He was reluctant because of workload. But then I remember having a conversation with him that you don't want to finish a career without captaining India in test matches.
So that struck a chord with him.
Yeah, and then took a couple of days and then he agreed. He's a very adjustable person, very friendly person. If you have conversations with him, he'll agree and accept and do things. And why wouldn't anybody want to be India's test captain?
Oh, who knows? I don't know. Some people have their compulsions. Both these conversations, were they in person, like face to face?
Yeah, person. I was a very hands-on board president and same was Jay. Meet players, talk to players, because you yourself has been a player.
Yeah. Okay, if there was one match in your career that you would want to replay, either to celebrate the success or to change the outcome of that match, which one would it be?
Two.
Yeah.
One I would want to replay was the test match at Eden Gardens.
Okay.
Eden Gardens against Australia. I don't think there's been a better test match than that. And the other one would be the 2003 World Cup final. But we were playing against a great team then, Australia.
Yeah.
I've captained India in Champions Trophy final, 2 Champions Trophy finals and 1 World Cup final. In those days, we never had T20. So I've been captain of finals and lost the 2003 in Johannesburg against Australia. But that's what sport is.
2003 World Cup, we all tear up every time we think about it. I don't know what you guys would have gone through. For like months, you must have been in a funk.
Yeah, it's very hard to forget such things. But then I remember I came back from Australia and was asked to go to Bangladesh straight away as captain. So went into cricket straight away. So I think as I went into the sport and as I kept playing, you obviously started forgetting about it.
Yeah. You've been part of the MCC committee as well as the ICC cricket committee. Do you feel that cricket has changed its values and nature because of the T20?
Yeah. Yeah, more so around the world than in India. And I think India players still want to play Test cricket. India, England, and Australia, South Africa to an extent, they still want to play Test cricket. I think it's also the culture of that country.
Yeah.
Culture of that country. When you see a Test match in England, you see so many people turning up to play a Test match in England, watch a Test match in England, but definitely T20 franchise cricket is very, very important to players because it just keeps them secure financially.
But then there's also this malaise of early retirement among young players. You're seeing Nicholas Puran at 29 retired.
I'm surprised this would have not happened if he was playing for India. He goes around the world, makes a lot of money. And I think that's his personal choice. Although he was never a regular Test player for the West Indies. He never played that format.
Yeah.
And I think he's exceptional in T20 format. And I think that probably forced him to make that decision.
Or even Klaasen, for example.
Yeah. I'm surprised with Klaasen though. Yeah.
You think ICC should have some sort of a cap on the number of T20 league tournaments so that people are not tempted to go there?
Yeah, they do regulate.
Yeah.
They've started to regulate.
They have started?
Yeah, but I don't know how you stop Test playing nations to have their own leagues.
And
Not all the leagues are profitable.
Yeah.
Don't look at IPL and think about other leagues.
Yeah. Speaking of IPL, what advice would you give to Indian cricketers about chasing fame? I can understand fame, but financial gains and you need financial security, but there is also
It doesn't change. You play well, finance follows you. It's never the other way around.
That's a great line.
And Yashasvi Jaiswal, Shubman Gill, Rishabh Pant, Jasprit Bumrah proves you that you can play as much as T20 cricket as you want and still play Test cricket. I've always said that. People talk about T20, people talk about saying how T20 cricket has affected Test match batting. It's only to people who have not been able to adjust. Gill and Yashasvi, so good to watch, and they all the time play T20 cricket.
Is there a mental switch in you,
It
in
is
a
a
cricketer?
mental switch. It's about having different techniques, different applications in mind in different format. The Indian top order, played like Test match, letting deliveries go outside the off stump.
But how do you get rid of that muscle memory?
No, it's not that difficult.
No?
No, you just need to practice,
Yeah.
tune your mind, change, just slow down yourself, and know that you have got 6 hours to bat.
Right. I want to talk about your TV career. You've got a great show going, Dadagiri, in Bengali. It's a quiz show.
10 years I've done it.
Yes. How did you train yourself to become a TV personality?
I don't know. I didn't train myself at all. I still remember the first day I went, and there was producer, there was participants, there was sponsorships, everybody in my ears. And I came and told my mom, they'll have me for a week or so, and then they'll find somebody new. Yeah. And I've done 10 years now.
Yeah. So, any tips on how to be a good TV host?
Just react to the participants. Because we don't have a script.
Oh. So then what homework do you do?
Nothing.
Wow.
I just have the questions. That's all. And then I react to the participants.
Yeah. When you were playing cricket, there was no social media hadn't gained that much traction. So the trolling, if at all they existed, was in the headlines of the newspapers, or the 1 or 2 TV shows. There was one TV show called Match Ka Mujrim. Match Ka Mujrim. But now everyone is an expert, is an analyst, and the young people, the young cricketers, get really under pressure. But I think we, the audience, the media, we fail to understand that most of these cricketers are young teenagers or barely out of their teens. They have the athletic maturity to play for India, but they don't have the mental maturity to be an adult yet.
No, they have.
They have?
They have.
But you think their behavior should be judged by people, their fans?
That will happen. When you're a public person, public name, it will happen. Don't bother about it.
But how does a 19-year-old or a 20-year-old deal with that kind of...
He'll learn. He'll make mistakes and he'll learn. You cannot avoid social media, but you have to find a way to stay away from it.
So you don't have any sympathy for them?
No. If you get criticized, you get criticized. So what?
Match Ka Mujrim had criticized you
I
quite a bit.
used to never watch that channel. I used to come to my hotel room, and as I would keep flicking TV and I would see that program, I would quickly move on to the other program. So I wouldn't see it. And social media also, you have to find a way to stay away from it.
Yeah.
All of us. And social media is huge these days. So much of news, reels, stories. Watch it, but don't react to it.
Okay.
And if you're reacting to it, don't watch it.
You spoke about Gill. Gill and Rishabh, do you see in them Sourav and Rahul?
Rahul's a big player. Just have to wait.
But the captain-vice captain relationship that you
We'll
had.
see. We'll find out. I thought he was exceptional last night
Yeah.
against in his first test as captain. Not just because he's got 100. It's just the way he batted. He was exceptional. He will be under pressure.
Yeah.
It's quite natural. He will be under pressure this series as well. It's just the beginning. Day 3, he could be under pressure. Edgbaston, he could be under pressure. And he'll learn. He just has to take one game at a time. But the quality of batsmanship which I saw from Shubman Gill, it's not a surprise for me from Yashasvi. But what I saw from Shubman Gill was very, very pleasant. Now, whether he continues to hold on to it, we'll see with time. He'll have bat form, he'll have good bowling attacks, he'll get on bat on tougher wickets, which will see him and deck around a bit. But I was very, very satisfied with the quality.
That's really high praise coming from you.
I didn't expect. I've seen him bat in test matches and I felt and this is his first 100 away from home.
Yeah.
I always felt that his technique was not good enough to survive away from home with the ball swinging, seaming, bouncing.
Virat and Rohit, can they continue to play just ODI and still maintain the fitness until 27 October?
It won't be easy.
It won't be easy.
15 games a year.
So what's the advice you would give them?
I got no advice. I don't think. I think they know the game as much as I do, and they will take a call. But all of us must understand that just like everyone, the game will go away from them, and they will go away from the game.
Yeah.
It's when.
Who do you think should take over the mantle of Virat in Test?
It's already.
Is there?
Shubman's captain.
Yep.
To become a Virat Kohli, you'll have to play 15 years. You won't get a Virat Kohli in one season.
Overnight.
You may not get a Virat Kohli. But India had couple. India had Gavaskar. India had Tendulkar. India had Dravid. India had Kumble, Harbhajan, Ashwin, Kohli. India will find its prodigy because this country has too much talent. And what I see of Shubman Gill, I hope he kicks off from here.
My God, this is going on and on.
Yeah, I love it. And Yashasvi.
Yeah. Yes, we have got lots of talent. Our spin department is a little bit faltering. What do you think is the reason?
No. Kuldeep needs to play a lot more for India in all formats.
In 2026, Bengal is going to go to the polls. And you are a darling of all political parties. Didi adores you. Amit Shah is a good friend. The communists were your good friend. If given a chance, would you want to come into politics? I mean, you have been given a chance, but you have not said anything.
No, I have no interest.
No?
No, I have no interest.
Chief Minister of West Bengal, maybe?
I have no interest. It's not as easy as you say. And I have no interest in politics.
Categorical. कल को हो गया तो फिर मैं वापस यहीं पे रहूंगा आपसे पूछने के लिए.
हुआ नहीं. हुआ पहले भी मौका था. हर साल मौका आता है. But I don't think that's my cup of tea.
If you were to go, which party would you go with?
I never thought that far. And I have no interest in politics.
You have no interest in politics?
No.
Not even as an observer or joining politics?
Yes, I observe because a country and a state's progress is directly attached to people who run it. But me being involved in active politics, no.
So you do see your future only in cricket as cricket administrator?
We'll see where future goes. We'll see where future goes.
Okay.
I do a whole lot of things. We'll see.
Yeah. Let's do some fun stuff. I want to do a rapid fire questions. One question, one answer, single word if possible. Your favorite opponent? Australia. Most feared bowler?
Glenn McGrath.
Best teammate?
All of them. Sachin, Rahul, BBS. I can't pinpoint one because they were emotional to me. They were the best part of my life. So I can't pinpoint one.
And they are still very good friends.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. When you work, it's like you worked in PTI for 30 years. You're emotionally attached to that, to the organization.
It's your life.
It's your life.
Yeah.
So if you asked who is your colleague, best colleague, you won't be able to name one. You had so many.
True. Good answer.
Yeah.
Worst travel memory?
Nothing yet.
Not even the under 15 when Sachin poured water inside your room?
No. They were happy days.
All right. Now, when were you more nervous? Your test debut or the first day your daughter went to school?
Test debut.
Test debut, more nervous?
Yeah.
Who is one player you dropped from the team and then regretted the next day?
Anil Kumble.
Why?
Few times.
Yeah.
Because he was so good.
Yeah.
He was so good.
If I were to pick up your phone and looked at your WhatsApp chat, I'm sure you'll find lots of cricketers' names. Which one cricketer name would I be very surprised to find in your WhatsApp?
No one.
No one?
Same Sachin.
No unusual name?
Sachin, Yuvraj, Dravid, Rohit, Virat at times. Yeah.
Yeah. If there is a match, or was there a match where you secretly wanted to punch someone in the face?
No.
You can name. No?
No. I've had arguments. I've had competitiveness, but never wanted to punch anyone.
If you were Sourav Ganguly's coach, what is one bad habit that you would want to fix in Sourav Ganguly?
I missed a lot of hundreds.
Yeah.
Should not have done that.
Why did that happen?
Don't know.
I think do you think about it a
Yeah,
lot?
I should have scored more hundreds than what I did.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Too many 90s, 80s.
That's a big regret.
Yeah.
Who was the biggest prankster in your team? The one who played pranks on you? Harbhajan. There was one incident where Harbhajan and I think Zahir was there. They printed a mock newspaper.
Yeah. In Kochi.
In Kochi.
In 2005 when we were playing Pakistan.
And then Sachin also got involved.
Yeah.
He pretended to be very morose.
Yeah, and that was for a good reason because I wasn't playing well. And they could see the pressure on my face and they wanted to take the pressure off.
So just tell us a little bit more about that prank.
So I never used to read newspapers. So in the morning they came and said, or the game that, you've criticized your team in the newspaper. Harbhajan said. I said, where? And they knew I don't read newspapers. So he said, they criticized your team and it's not right. You shouldn't have done this. I said, if you think that's the way I'm going to step down from captaincy.
You were in tears, I believe.
No. I was pretty serious and they saw me very serious. And then after 3-4 minutes, they said, no. And I didn't realize that day was 1st of April.
Oh.
It was an April Fool's Day.
Oh, it was? Okay.
April Fool's Day.
He's a fun character.
He's a great guy.
Yeah. A biopic is being made on you and Rajkumar Rao is playing. Would you have rather played you yourself?
No.
I mean, you're fairly good looking to be here.
No, I think the right person is doing it. I'll help him.
Yeah. How's that going?
It's going well. It'll be released next December.
Okay. So is the shooting is not over yet?
Shooting starts in January.
Oh, starts in January.
The pre-production and story writing and scripting takes a lot of time.
And
shooting doesn't take much time. It's about 3 months and then the post-production takes time.
Okay. And you will help him with the cricketing nuances?
Everything.
That's nice. I'm looking forward to seeing that movie. Okay. Imagine Rahul Dravid starts sledging you in a match. How would you sledge him back?
Well, he's done that many times. At practice, in real life.
What does he say? I can't imagine him sledging.
He's not as quiet as he looked from outside.
No?
And he has his own way of sledging. I'll sledge him back, but we are friends.
You have to tell me a few sledges.
I don't remember. But I know he did.
Huh.
He did. So when he was keeping, he wasn't very happy about it. Sometimes when he missed a ball, I would say, "Ram, catch it." I'm not a regular keeper. So he would tell me all that. But it was all in good sense.
You did force him to be a keeper, right?
Yeah, the team needed him to keep at that time.
Yeah. Who was the regular keeper at the time?
Parthiv Patel.
Parthiv Patel.
Because we didn't have MS Dhoni then. MS Dhoni came in and then obviously
Yeah.
we let him go off the gloves.
Do you use ChatGPT?
No,
Why?
I don't need to.
AI is the future.
AI I do, but more to do with my sponsorship and everything.
How do you do that? I'm curious to know.
They do it. I don't.
We need to do it in PTI as well. Everyone needs to do it.
Yeah, I don't do it personally, but I think the corporates do it a bit more.
Do you ever Google your name at night and then regret it?
I see my videos at nights. I past in even I'm alone
Cool.
and because my wife goes to England a lot because
Yeah.
Sana is there. So when I'm alone and sometimes I'm in bed, I go back, say I want to watch my 100. I go to YouTube and click it and watch. It feels good.
It feels good,
yeah.
right? And then do you start correcting your strokes or something? Just enjoy.
No, then I
The
look,
maza
at,
aa raha hai.
I look at it and say, "Arey, फिर 70 में out हो गया." I should not have got out at this time. But then you can't change it.
Sourav Ganguly, we wish you all the best in your continuous 100 scoring spree.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. It has been delightful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.